Hello and welcome to the Garden of Grace devotion. My name is Pastor Katie, and I'm one of the pastors at Trinity Lutheran Church in Lilburn, Georgia. And today I have a truly special guest on the Garden devotion with me, Dr. Malakpa. Welcome, Dr. Malakpa.
Thank you, Pastor Katie. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I was given the gift, I guess a week and a half ago or so, of meeting Dr. Malakpa at Trinity when the Association of Liberians, of the Liberian Lutheran Church in America, had its annual conference at Trinity. We were blessed to meet many wonderful people from all around the world, and one of the gifts that I was given was meeting Dr. Malakpa. We sat together in Hanbury Hall at Trinity, and I asked him some about his story. And it really touched me. I was thankful to learn more about him and his passion for what he's doing in Liberia. And so I asked him to come here virtually and join me on the garden devotion. So welcome. And as we've talked about sort of before the recording, will you share with us some of how your story began?
Thank you again, Pastor Kitty. My story began from childhood. I am a son of a parazo in Liberia. That means the man who is the leader of the Para Society. That's a society that establishes and conducts a bush school for boys.
Okay.
My father put me in school, Western style school, but he didn't want me to go beyond third grade. But I got promoted to first grade, and then he passed. And missionaries, Pastor and Mrs. Gerald E. Kearns, both deceased now. Mrs. Kearns died just last year at 99.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Sent me to the Zaza Lutheran School. It's a boarding school. That school laid the foundation for me academically, socially, religiously, very strongly.
So your dad passed before when you were in first grade?
When I say first grade, yes.
And then did these missionaries, did they become your guardians?
Yes.
Okay. And they sent you to a boarding school
Correct.
to help you learn.
Correct.
Okay.
So I was in a boarding school for 3 years, and then they were coming back to the United States because Pastor was going to do his doctorate in anthropology at the University of Oregon in Eugene. So I attended a couple of public schools, but I had a vision problem all those years, and eventually I lost my sight. I was blessed to go to another school in a neighboring country sponsored by the then president of Liberia, President William Richard Talbot. I think to even premise this is I've always been, I don't want to blow my own horn of never giving up,
Right.
regardless of whatever happens. But not only I was, very interested in not giving up, but I've been blessed along the way. Blessed with the missionaries who sent me to a Lutheran school. Excuse me. Blessed with the president who found something in me and sent me to Sierra Leone to learn Braille and to graduate from high school from there. And blessed with the president who sponsored me abroad and put me on a government scholarship to be sponsored abroad. I went to Florida State University and earned a bachelor's degree cum laude in 3 years.
Wow.
And then a master's degree with a 4.0 average in 1 year. I matriculated to Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where I earned another master's degree and a doctorate. At that time, the political turmoil in Liberia was horrible because a military coup had overthrown the president who sponsored me and killed him. And I didn't see need to go back to Liberia. So I started looking for a job in the United States and was pleased to land at the University of Toledo as an assistant professor. By the way, to go to Harvard, I was partly sponsored by the ELTA
Wow.
for 3 years. Yes. So I went to University of Toledo and worked my way up from assistant to associate and to full professorship with tenure.
There you go.
I went back to school while at University of Toledo and earned a law degree.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
After many years of working at University of Toledo, the opportunity came for me to go to Liberia to be president of Lutheran University. And I jumped to it as my opportunity to give back to my God, to give back to my church and to my country. There's nothing more satisfying than to offer such a service. It's an enormous sacrifice. Again, I don't want to blow my horn, but the truth of the matter is the university, Lutheran University of Liberia, doesn't have much money. Every time we get a little money, I think about paying the employees.
Yes.
These are people with families. These are people with children. Currently, we are 2 months behind for July and August. The last payment was for June. So when I get a little money, I don't think about, gee, I need this for myself. I buy my own gas. I maintain my own house at a very high expense of $50 for every 8 to 12 days for electricity. So what I would need in that place would be a very strong solar panel to maintain my home. And the other thing is, I have not even renovated my office fully because, again, every time I think about renovating my office, hey, payroll is not met. We need a tractor, we need a lawnmower, we need this, down to things like toiletries for the bathrooms. We are on 3 campuses, so maintaining the school is expensive, and our only source of income is student tuition and fees. We get little things from Aliyah here and there, but that's our main source of income. So there's enormous need to increase enrollment. So that's what drives me, going back to Liberia to serve my people, to serve my church, and to thank the church for what it has done for me. And 3 years on Zaza Mission, 3 years at Harvard University is a lot. It's a lot of service. It's a lot of commitment. How do I survive in the midst of enormous financial scarcity? When I was doing my doctorate at Harvard, I had a poster in my office that said, "Obstacles are what you see when you take your eyes off the goal." I keep focused on the goal of the university. My vision, my prayer, my passion for the university is to develop it into a world-class university, offering courses that are not available in other universities or on a limited basis. We're already doing that. We have nursing programs in our College of Nursing that are not available in other universities in Liberia, such as psychiatric nursing, mental health nursing, surgical nursing, surgical room nursing. So those are attracting people to our university. We hope to do more, not only in the College of Nursing, but in the College of Agriculture. We have 3 colleges right now: theology, education, and health sciences. We hope to establish more colleges: agriculture, science, art, and technology, business, and so forth. We can't do that now because we don't even have money to hire enough personnel. Currently, I have an advertisement out for a controller for the university because I am the vice president for academic affairs, the vice president for administration, the controller. I can't do all of those.
Right.
I don't have the background for most of them. For example, you need an accountant, a competent accountant, or somebody with finance background to be the controller. But what makes me to keep going is, again, Obstacles are what you see when you take your eyes off the goal. I remain focused. I also go back to some things I taught my students for many years at the University of Toledo, and that
Yes.
is, if you focus on the cannots, if you're teaching students and you focus on the cannots, you become paralyzed in terms of creativity. The child cannot see, for example, so he can't see the blackboard. He can't read print materials. He can't read this. He can't do that. How is he going to find his way around the school? You're looking at the cannots.
Mm.
Conversely, if you look at what the child can do,
Yes.
it increases creativity. The child cannot see, but he can hear.
Mm-hmm.
He can talk. She can use technology to do certain work. She can do this. He can do that. It opens doors for you in creativity. I applied that same principle in my work with the Lutheran University of Liberia. And that is, we don't have this. We don't have that. That is true. We need computers. We need uh, laboratory materials. We need money to pay to meet our payroll. We need this. We need that. All of which is true. But it's better to focus on what we have. What can we do with what we have?
Yes.
You know, we have one car on one of the campuses which needs enormous repairs. Well, can we find a local mechanic that can do this at a very cheap cost? Yes. Can we find this? Can we find that? Yes. Um, some people have donated used laptops. Can we use those instead of huge desktop computers? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at different ways of using what we have. Um, if you use what you have, you will not need to weep over what you don't have. So, in as much as we need other things, we start with what we have.
That's the theme that I hear from you is paying attention to what is rather than what is not.
Correct.
And it reminds
Absolutely.
me of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that hits the nail right on the head. That
Yeah.
if you make use of what you have instead of what you don't have, you make some progress.
It reminds me of Bishop's sermon that he offered when we were all at Trinity together about don't let anyone stop you, including yourself.
Correct.
I think the
You,
text, go ahead.
you can be your own worst enemy when you only focus of look me what I don't have. I spent a weekend years ago in Daytona Beach, Florida, counseling students with disabilities. And I told them it's very important that you think positively about yourself. If you sit back and say, oh, look at me, I can't see or I can't walk, I can't do this. Like, why don't, again, the same principle, why don't you look at what you can do as opposed to what you cannot do? If you look at what you can do, you will improve in the areas that you cannot, believe me or not, because you learn alternative methods of working with what you are capable of doing. And if you think you're no good, you know what? If you even entertain that thought that I'm not capable of doing this, I can't run this school because I don't have this and this and that. If you entertain the thought slightly, you begin to believe it.
And you're right. Yeah.
And if you believe it, you begin to look it. You begin to do it, or you begin to do nothing. And you don't do nothing, you will look like it, and people will see that in you as incompetent and not able to do what you need to do. It's not a matter of being arrogant, but it's a matter of being realistic. Say, you know what? There are problems here, but we can do something. We can make a difference. You put your hand on the deck, and the good Lord is going to come through with people to help, whether they are outside the country, whether they are within the country, you will get help. You will get increase in the number of students. That's our mission. That's our passion in working with the Lutheran University of Liberia.
I hear that. And That's a powerful message. I think that's a powerful message for every person. We each only have so much energy and so much time. How often do we, just pay attention to the things that we don't have, or the things that we aren't, or the ways that our brain doesn't work, or this or that or the other, rather than look at these gifts that God has given to me?
Right. Right.
And what would the Lord have me to do with them? Not
Ex-
because of who I am, but because of who God is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.